All right, well, good evening. Tonight I'm drawing Jeff Stoner's Space Mercenary that he got as a backer reward for backing my Kickstarter. I believe it was in August. It was the Dax's Wingman. What was it, Dax's Wingman or Master Blaster? Anyway, it was one of the higher tiers, and the reward is Jeff will be drawn as a Space Mercenary. And later, probably early next year, hopefully no later than the summer, there'll be a short story involving all the people who backed at that level, and they'll be fighting alongside Dax in a short action-packed comic. So I've already done the blue lines because I feel an hour of me sketching and erasing is probably not very exciting to anybody but me, and honestly, it's not all that exciting to me either. So I'm going to dive into the inks. I just gotta figure out if I got the right pen size. Of course, instead of watching me sketch, you get to watch me play around with someone's face I've never drawn before, which also is exciting, right? Let's get like that. All right. Now that's the hard part. The easy part's going to be drawing the rest of the armor because I don't have to try to make it look like anybody. Close these lines up. Make the coloring easy later. Sometimes it's easy to be lazy and let your future self deal with it, but as we've all learned, you are your future self, so sometimes you gotta throw your future self a bone and help them out. Alright, so now I sent out a survey when I did these, and I had the backers fill it out so I know what kind of space mercenary they want to be. Jeff here is a loud and shooty type, and he is big and bulky. And his gun is bigger than better. So I got a nice big gun, and he is big and bulky. So I'm going to thicken that pen up a little bit. And get down to this. I found in the last, let's say, year or so that I've really been drawing extra characters in Dax and doing a few of these. I did a couple of these just for fun with friends of mine, just as practice. And I kind of got a system of how I draw space mercenaries, and I really enjoy it. I don't think too hard about it. The armor's not that difficult, really. It's a few key components that it has to have, whatever influences. Try to let their personality shine in it. At the same time, not make it so difficult I don't ever want to draw it again. I think what really got me setting up with a basic style of armor was when I was drawing the elves of Night Maiden, which some of you may know. I've been doing that comic. It's on a break right now. I'm not sure when I'm going to get back to it, but for now it's on a break. And so I had all these elves, and instead of trying to design all these different kinds of elves, I would have a basic style that their armor always looked, regardless of what they were, who they were. So that way I could put together extra characters pretty quickly. And that kind of bled over into my Dax drawings. And now, Space Mercenary armor. It's got to function in a similar manner. I'm sure there's only a couple manufacturers. And so you gotta have some big pauldrons, and I personally don't really care for helmets that much, unless they're bad guys that don't need to have a face. Joints in a couple spots, and belt full of stuff. Because you gotta have a belt full of stuff. What's also nice is it doesn't necessarily have to be symmetrical because this is his shooty hand, so it doesn't need that big guard on it. I do derive a lot of my influence from the years of playing Warhammer 40,000. If anybody's familiar with that game, but I was not much of a space mercenary player, but I definitely love their armor. I gotta pull back. I'm sure there's a function where I can have a little window up here somewhere that will show me the drawing as I'm drawing. Yeah, I've seen other people do that. I just can't for the life of me figure it out. If I'm missing something or my Honka Studio's broken, I don't know. But I've gotten used to doing it like this. This is when I tend to screw up proportions. Luckily, he's a big shooty space merc, so proportions aren't that important. He's just big. Before I started recording, I had to put out a fire with my oldest and my youngest. They were arguing because my youngest wanted to watch a TV show that my oldest likes to watch. And she was adamant that he wouldn't like it. I didn't know if there was a reason she didn't want him to watch it or what, but I don't know. Kids. So now I can hear them upstairs. They're watching it, and they're both giggling and having a good time. And she's telling about all the cool episodes he's gonna watch. I don't get kids. Let's argue about something, and then let's have fun with it later. So you're big and shooty, you need stable legs. Oops. Quick save. Alright, well, I got all the basic shapes in. So, well, there needs to be the back of his armor here. It's going to show through a little bit. Okay. Alright, so I got the basic shapes down. I probably should really do this gun now. Yeah, I'll probably regret it if I don't. Alright. Do I use perspective tool or not to make it straight? Probably should. I wish that's better perspective. Still trying to understand it. That should probably be right. We'll find out. The tool I don't use as often as I probably should. Nothing else, I'll just get some straight lines and be good from there. I need like a 3-point perspective. And I'll just get some lines in here and figure it out from there. Yeah, I needed a 3rd point apparently. Oh well, I'll fake it. That's what we artists do best, right? I can guesstimate it pretty well, and there I'll just try to get it to fit. Just get some straight lines. All right, I'll build off that. That's enough to build off of. I just need some shapes to break the gun up. Okay. Big old gun. Got some lines to do. Okay, so now is when I'll start breaking up his armor. So I just put simple lines. It's gotta have seams. Heart connects. Oh, and there's Jeff.
You'll see.
Yeah, I won't. I'm going upstairs. Your parents are
Hey, Jeff.
ready.
Hey, dude.
How you doing?
Good.
Cool. So,
better.
All right. So, just to remind you, this is broadcasting and everything, right?
How's that mic? That looks better.
That sounds good.
Oh, goodness.
Sounds better than mine. You all right? Just give me a second here. Okay. I know they're cliche, but man, you gotta have pouches. You know, there's no corner store in space, so you gotta keep your snacks in there and whatever else. really begs the question, how do you get into that pouch with that gigantic hand over there? Huh. No, it doesn't need to make sense, right?
Love it when my browser crashes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You just look like you're just sitting there for the longest time. So.
Yeah, the nice page said, "Oh snap, something went wrong."
So how you doing tonight? You can hear me apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tired, cheesed off.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna remind you real quick. Remember, this is broadcasting on air. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
So just keep your shirt on.
Don't worry about that. I'm being
right.
paged by my son. Hold on.
Okay. So in case you can't figure that out, that's Jeff. Jeff is a heck of a supporter of independent comics. I gotta say that. So I'm gonna spend more time on all these little tiny details than I do on the main drawing. Piecing it all together. So he does not have that I like to put on space armor. After I do a cleanup here. Our lights, I don't know why, but I just think lights look cool on armor. So maybe we'll put a light here. He's kind of twisting his torso there. And here's a simple place to put a light. Armor needs some glowy bits. Okay. Now I like to put like some shiny stuff on there. I think it makes it look shiny. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Oops. Deselect that. Okay, Jeff. Well, since he just kind of popped in back in. So what do you think? How's it turning out for you so far?
Oh yeah.
Is it loud and shooty enough yet?
I got moon boots, dude.
Well, I just figured you need that support. You know, I was doing that survey. I kind of regretted. I know one of the options I put on there was like sleek and sexy or something. And I'm glad no one picked that. I've been awkward.
You're not gonna do the Batman thing and have like the nipples on the chest, are you?
No, you just have some lights on your belt. That's about it.
Cool.
I just try to keep it, at least make a little sense. What is it, like dispense milkshakes? I don't know.
Whiskey.
How do you get to it? That's the question. Alright, well, I think I'm done with the inks. And I always forget to sign the dang things. I don't know how many times I've drawn something, got it to colors, and like, oh, I don't have a signature, so I have to copy and paste a signature from another drawing. Alright. Save it.
What version of Magnet Studio is that?
EX4.
Oh, 4? Okay.
Yep. I've wanted to upgrade to 5 because I heard you can color in it, but I heard they got rid of story mode, and I use story mode. I love story mode. See, I got all the pretty mercs. All there in story mode. Blank pages. So. Alright. I don't know why I got out of there. I gotta export the dang thing. Mm-hmm. So, what's up? I'm not terribly talkative because I have a hard time talking to myself. I just kind of ramble on about stuff I'm no good at.
No, dude. So you're going to more conventions.
Yeah, I got one more, so that's twice as many as I've ever done now. I'm up to 2. But yeah, just starting out, so you gotta start somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Photoshop. This is the thing I hate. I hate going from one drawing tool to another drawing tool. That's why I'd love to just have one thing. But I can't ink anything else besides Manga Studio. It's the only thing I like.
Have you tried, Psy? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, I had it, and I liked it until I got Manga Studio, and then I started liking Manga Studio better.
I know a couple other folks, they'll do their inks in Psy, then they'll switch to Photoshop for doing coloring.
That's how I used to do it. That's how I did. I think that's how I did all the Dax until I think the chapter I'm drawing now is the first one I've done in Manga Studio. Okay. All right. So is it up now? It's Photoshop up. Okay. All right. Cool. And I can do all this stuff. A lot of the reasons I'm recording this is Charlie and John, and they're always asking me how I do certain things. I don't know how to explain it. So this way I can just like, oh yeah, go here and go to the 30th minute, and that's what I'm doing it.
I have to go tend to my son again. I'll be right back.
No problem. Alright, and here's my little... I keep calling it a cheat. I guess it's not really a cheat. It's just how I color. You know, it shows me I got... The only broken spot I have is somewhere in the hand, which that's pretty dang good, only having one. That's all. Try to find them. Oh, there's one right there. Alright, that should be good. Cool. So, that's how to explain it. So I use the magic wand. You can't see any of my tools. That's kind of weird. So, use the magic wand, click all the negative space, and there is no other negative space. It's all just one big negative space. Right click it, select inverse, it jumps to the inside, and I drop a color. And actually the base I'm going to drop a color into gray. It's easier to see the other colors. That's a gray. Okay, so then I'm going, well, we gotta delete the color on my signature. It doesn't have to be there. I'm going to lock the opacity on my color layer so I can't color out of it. And if you're not familiar with that, what that means is it's locked where I can only color where there's already color. So I can do that, but I can't go over here. So I can't go outside the lines. Okay. All right, so let's see. The color Jeff chose is olive drab, so I got to try to figure out how to do an olive drab.
Did you ask your wife what colors I should be using?
No. My wife doesn't understand colors.
Hey, she got that dress right, though.
Oh man. It's funny because like she'll have like some shirts out or something. And she's like, "Oh, hand me that blue shirt." I'm like, "What blue shirt?" Like that blue shirt right there. I'm like, "This purple shirt." They always get a kick out of those you know how women see colors, how men see colors, kind of thing. I'm like, no, I see a million colors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're uniques, right? All right, well, I think that's a decent olive drab, at least to start. So now let's do your hair. I'm gonna do your hair. Is it okay?
As long as I'm not bald.
No, that was Charlie's Merc. It's funny. I mean, not to sound weird or nothing, but man, me and you look a lot alike. It's kind of weird sometimes. Except I shaved my beard off, so.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh man. Well, at least it's a Wolverine. It looks okay.
Yeah, well, it's just all gone now. Because like I'm not going to work in mutton chops. That's ridiculous. But I'm not gonna shave, so it's gonna grow back. Don't worry. I know you're pretty upset about the whole thing. But what I was saying before you left, one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos is a lot of times John and Joel, not Joel, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Joel doesn't care what I'm doing. Charlie will ask, like, I don't know, how do you do this? Or whatever. Like, I'm trying to find an easy way to color. I'm like, oh, just do this, this, and this. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Those are big words. So. Alright, now let's do this process. Alright, what color are your eyes?
Brown.
They're just brown? Alright, that's easy. Weird question to ask. I was doing a portrait of a girl I went to high school with once, and I just asked like, "Oh, is it okay if I do a portrait of you?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just practicing, so not trying to be creepy." And I had to email her. I'm like, "It's gonna sound weird. What color are your eyes? Are they blue or green? I can't tell." Oops, that's the wrong brush. That looks kind of funny. It's like I took an army figure and started painting. All right, I gotta make sure I save because Photoshop is always what ends up killing my computer. Okay, I'm gonna start picking out. This is the hard part. What parts do I make lighter? What parts do I make darker? I like that color. I don't care what you think. I like that color. I'll probably end up changing it actually. Oh yeah, cons. It's like you were trying to start a conversation, and I totally like blanked off of it. um, yeah. So I have another con in Michigan tomorrow, and I am not prepared at all for it. I had all these ideas of things I wanted to do, and I did not do a dang thing.
Just
Thanks for
wing
bringing that up. Yeah, I'm winging it. Don't worry about that. I had an idea for a print I was gonna make, and I don't know. I don't even know where the time went.
it. Guilty of that a lot.
Yeah, actually, I had to develop a point system for myself because it's so easy to say, oh, if I can just do 3 pages a week, then I'll keep up the pace and I'll be good. But what ends up happening is I'll do like a bunch of thumbnails, and then I'll do some inks, and then I send those off to Aaron, and Aaron does all my flatting, and I come back and do the finish work on them, and that's great, except I don't know what a page means. It's like, at what point is there a page? So what I ended up coming up with is I developed a point system, and I'm really excited to try it out. So like my pencils are a point each. So for every page of pencils, I get a point. 2 points for inking, 2 points if I do the flatting, and 1 point for the finish work. So if I can get 15 points a week, then I'll be on task for no matter where the points came from.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I spent a whole week doing pencils, okay, this week I'm inking because that's what I have to do next. Because Aaron doesn't send me nasty emails, but he does send me those. Hey, yeah, I haven't gotten anything to flat in a while. Wonder what you're doing. Kind of emails, which he's perfectly within his right. I've told him a few times, like, yeah, don't feel bad about those. He says he feels bad sending those to me. Like, oh no, that's totally my fault. You know, send them away. We're still in the process of writing the story that these mercs are going to be in. Pretty excited about it.
Are you gonna make the belt pouch pink for breast cancer awareness?
Well, these lights are kind of pinkish. Isn't that enough for you? What do you want, a ribbon? I'd be more than happy to put a ribbon on you if you want.
Did you see Raising Arizona?
Oh God, forever ago.
The guy on a motorcycle with the little baby shoes hanging off of his jacket.
Oh man. All right. I'm gonna get shady now.
Gotta have a little bit of crazy in there.
Yeah, you well, face isn't crazy enough for you. All right, save it so it doesn't crash on me. I've been having pretty good luck with it. I'm just afraid to jinx it. A buddy of mine suggested just putting another fan in there because once I blew all the garbage out of it, it started running a lot better. I mean, who knew? Just clean out the crap and your computer works. Wow, that gun is very purple. I'm gonna have to change that. So what do I gotta do to get you to come to a con up in Michigan? I mean,
Jeez.
it's like you and Charlie are like best buddies now. I'm like, oh, what's some of that? I want some of that beard love. Come on.
I'm waiting for my son to get older. See how he takes to conventions.
Mm-hmm.
If he likes it, then yeah, we'll definitely do a few more together.
Cool. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. My daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, she sat in with me at that convention because so I had someone to talk to, and my wife made it quite clear she'd sit with me, but not all day. And I really don't blame her because I mean there was a few times where I'm like, man, how long do I gotta sit here for? This is a long day. But yeah, I mean, she was, I told my daughter, I was like, yeah, you don't have to do another con with me if you don't want to. I understand. And today she was like, oh, am I going to the con with you tomorrow to help you set up? Because she has a dance in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, if you want to, you don't have to. She's like, oh, I want to. Those are fun. Like, really? Okay. I'm done with that. So, I mean, bond however you got to bond. She went to an anime con, actually, November 1st, last Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
with a friend of hers, because her friend's in anime, and so naturally she is too. But then I try to talk to her about, oh, yeah, I used to love anime when I was in high school. I like this show, and she looks at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, God, I found my old Vampire Hunter D VHS, and we found a VCR, and I want to watch it. Like, you want to watch this with me? I don't know. I'm kind of busy. My anime's not cool enough for you. Okay.
I know. I've had Vampire Hunter D and my Netflix request for like ever.
Oh, really? Like the original one?
Yeah, because it's like they just won't get it. It's like, come on.
It's a good one. I like that. I mean, I liked the sequel, that Bloodlust that he did. I thought that was pretty good too. Kind of long, but I also haven't seen that in forever either. But I liked the other characters in that. Those vampire hunter guys were pretty cool. I mean, he had that wrist. You remember that one? He had that wrist crossbow.
No, I didn't see the sequel.
Oh, it was pretty good. It was all like super super high tech. There was a guy. He had like this crossbow mounted on his wrist,
Uh-huh.
and he would just in his other hand just have a handful of silver bolts and just start launching them like crazy. And of course, it's an anime, so in the next shot, there's just like a million of them raining down. It was cool. Really cool. I'll have to see if I can pick that up sometime. So yeah, this is my cheap, hacky shading technique that I like showing people.
Hey, whatever works.
Actually, it's fast. That's what matters. I'm not paid by the hour here.
That was Julia. She's in Sweden, and she used some kind of. She wasn't using a lasso tool, but she was using a brush, and she did like 20, 30 layers easily per drawing.
Oh man.
And so she would just swipe across the whole thing, and just certain parts would get shaded. It's like, holy crap!
That's nuts. When I get too many layers, my computer just starts slowing. I need to get like a computer built for this stuff. I was telling my wife that. I'm like, yeah, I need to get a computer that's built for this. She's like, honey, it's a good computer. You just need to settle down with it a little bit. Because I'll do that. I'll have like 20 layers. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I combine all my text dialogue into one layer because it's just too much to deal with otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Netflix, no Bloodlust.
No, I'm sorry.
Damn it.
There's Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I did watch that last night with my boys. And they thought it was great. I can't remember exactly where I came up with this technique or where I first found it, but it's fast. I used to do all my shading with a brush tool, and it would just took forever. Then I started realizing that, when I read a comic, I really don't pay attention to the shading that much. Why am I killing myself here?
You notice it when it's not there, though.
Oh, yeah. There's some that are like really great, though. They don't do any shading at all. I think it's fabulous, but man. Dax does not look right, not shaded. We tried it. We tried it with one page, and we're like, how does that look? I'm like, that looks awful. Right. And here's my hacky highlight technique. It's another layer. Set to screen. I used to, for a while there, I was doing like 2 shade layers and 2 highlight layers, and I realized it was really just getting way too busy. Because I do like, I have a highlight there. Here, I'll just kind of show you. And then I would like do this. Another highlight. And like, it looked neat, except I really overdid it. And it was like, that looks really bad. And there'd just be too much. It's like, when that kid who discovers the lens flare. Like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
Lens flares everywhere.
It's like Star Trek. I haven't finished watching that yet. I know in Night Maiden I did this a lot. I had lots of the shading and the highlighting. I thought it made it look better. And I got to the point where like, I'm just doing that on everything, so like everything looks like super, super important. And it actually ends up taking away from everything else. Probably my biggest regret in life. Shiny crotch. Yeah, that video you did, was that yesterday?
Oh yeah, a couple of days ago, yeah.
Oh my god, I saw that. I'm like, oh, what, is he doing a book review? It's only like 30 seconds long. Like maybe this is a test. Maybe he messed something up. And I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, that was funny as hell. I did not see that coming.
Rick, Rick, the guy that wrote the book, he was just falling out of his chair.
Oh,
Figured it out the night before. My wife came down. She saw it. She just gave me this look. I was like, it's for a joke.
It's- no, really, I'm not into freaky stuff.
Uh,
Oh, the lies we tell, huh?
oh, yeah.
Let's see.
That browser history deleted.
Alright, we gotta figure out. Man, I want everything to be green, but I gotta figure out a color for this dang gun. Purple, purple ain't doing it. Mm. Hmm. I don't think you see a lot of brown guns. Yeah, I'm thinking you look more like an action figure, actually.
The G.I. Joe, the figure is all great, but the guns are just like, oh,
Alright, let's see what I can do with this. Alright, well, that's a start. Let's see how it shades. I think the other thing that got me loosen up on the shading and stuff is when I would look at it. I saw a lot of people shading out lines, and honestly, the shades weren't that clean. I realized I was really pushing myself too hard to try to be perfect, and I could really get away with a lot less. That's when I developed this whole thing. Because as a whole, it looks good.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think?
Oh yeah.
Looking good? Alright. I'm going to brighten your face up a little bit. You looking a little pale.
That's normal.
I used to tell my wife I can't do colors. I did everything in black and white inks, like all through high school and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started doing colors. I sucked at them. Like, oh man, the first actual issue of Dax was just atrocious. The very first page was 4 panels. I spent, I want to say, 5 hours on it, and it was just 4 panels, no background, just figures. I'm drawing it on paper and laboring over it. And she's like, "You really need to just kind of relax a little bit. Take it too seriously." I'm like, "Oh, this is what we gotta do, though." I don't know. Have you ever seen those? You ever seen the old Daxes?
I haven't seen the originals, no.
Ah, you're lucky. I pulled them out a couple of times to like compare the very first drawing of Dax with like, oh, what I did today, because look, I've gotten better. This man, I was trying to be so perfect with so much of it, and it was ridiculous. Like his goatee, he had like a little soul patch thing going because like I wanted to make sure it looked realistic, and he had nostrils. got rid of those nostrils pretty damn fast. And it was somewhere around the original 4th chapter, which is now chapter 3. It's the questing chapter. Is when like he kind of took on the shape that I really wanted him to have. I'm like, oh yeah, actually, I like the way he's drawing right now. I'm gonna do him like this from now on. Oh, we gotta just burn those old copies. Good thing we never printed the old ones. Lights. I used to overdo the lights too, and I learned this this technique right here. I love this, but man, it's my lens flare. It looks good when there's only a couple of them, but man, I think Dax's armor is gonna get broken. He's gonna have to get some new ones with fewer lights on it. But that's what ended up happening originally. Is I got tired of his armor. I'm like, this armor's stupid. Let's do something new. Like, oh, well, just give him some new armor. But we gotta do it in story, or it'll be dumb. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. Notice I don't care if you're happy with it, I'm happy with it.
Nice.
Alright, so this is something I've really been wanting to show Charlie and John. It's my, I call it my 5-minute background.
Uh-huh.
Hard part's picking a color. Let's see. I'll just start with this purple. Play with some colors. What complements that green? Yeah, that should work. So okay, so here's a brown layer, and then I will match it for the background layer. We'll dump. Did I screw that up? I gotta get rid of that. Okay, there we go. All right. So I have 2 layers. I have a sky layer and a ground layer. So I will darken the sky. Take a gradient, screen it, and pull. And it's probably going to be really slow doing this. Let me check my temperature. Temperature's looking good. All right. Well, this is the only time I do this gradient. So I got a nice shiny horizon. I'll change the gradient to multiply and darken the corners up a little bit. And then go back to the ground layer and do my highlights and shading. Oops. I say whoops a lot. I wasn't conscious of it until I started recording these things. I'm like, man, I say whoops way too much. I need to act like I'm professional and know what I'm doing. I might end up changing that color, so I'm not sure if I really like the purple anymore, but I'll figure that out in a minute. Alright, then we need some stars in the background. You think I'd just do a stock image of this, so I don't have to keep doing this every single time. Actually, we for the comic, we do have a full page image that we just call space layer, and it just like blues and like swirls and stars and stuff, so I don't keep doing it. Alright. Okay, so then I start playing around with colors. I like the purple sky, but I'm not really sure if I like the purple ground anymore. So, yeah, artists who are pains in the ass. That's just the wrong shade of purple. I don't know if you get lost in that. I like that color, but not for this. That might work. So for the most part, that's pretty much all I do, and I'll kind of go in and pick out some spots and shade those, and it doesn't take me long at all. I used to labor over this. Alright, one last thing I gotta do before I'll call this done. And that is open open something else with this layer that I need. Let's see. What can I use? I use this one. This was the Space Mercenary I drew for my boss's son. It's a Christmas present for him. He doesn't know he's getting this. So I like it. Hopefully he'll enjoy it. So I'm just going to duplicate my texture layer that I like. Move on over. That texture layer goes in the background. I used to texture all the characters and everything, but I decided I like the characters to be bright and have a kind of animation look, and the background can be textured. So. Alright, so I'm about ready to call this one done. What do you think? Any last minute suggestions, questions, comments? I hate it. Start over.
No, it rules, man.
Actually, let's go sleek and sexy. Let's try that one out. Alright, cool. Alright, I'll send you the finished file, and yeah, this will actually help me get your package out sooner.
Okay.
Because I need to finish the stuff up. Alright, well, thanks for joining me, Jeff.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks a lot.
Alright, thank you. Alright, bye.
See ya.